Part 21. Dantian has a little field. Author, The Magic Orb Zoo. Chapter 201. This feeling is, the feeling of breakthrough. Lin Su felt his own state in a daze, and then became ecstatic. He was about to break through to the nascent soul stage and break through the pill to become a baby. Speaking of which, Lin Su has been in the great perfection in the late stage of Dan formation for a long time. As the body of a demon spirit, the bottleneck, which restricts other monks and demon beasts, does not exist at all to Lin Su. What he has always lacked is it's just an understanding of the laws of heaven. Diamond suit. After collecting the 5 spirit beads, the 4 spirit beads have been continuously replenishing the laws of the 4 elements of metal, wood, water, and fire in the spirit field space these days. In addition, after signing an equal contract with the Earth Spirit Pig, the laws of Earth elements have also been supplemented. Finally, the quantitative change caused a qualitative change, reaching the standard of breakthrough. The endless spiritual energy of heaven and earth mixed with a trace of the power of law gathered towards Lin Su, and the speed became faster and faster. 2 tornadoes formed inside the entire Tianzi ladder, and they violently moved up and down towards the acupoints in Lin Su's body. Guess, the great prophet Kulia, whose body is the most fragile, can hardly keep her figure. Yewuji and Emperor Yan looked at Lin Su speechlessly. This kid was simply a monster. Others who had broken the pill and became a baby had not gone through a lot of hardships and narrow escapes, but this kid was lucky enough to break through after taking a nap. And when other people broke through, they deliberately chose a safe and secluded place to retreat. Who like Lin Su suddenly broke through while walking down the Tianzi stairs, leaving people completely unprepared. It is a good thing to be able to break through the nascent soul stage. When the barrier is repaired, there will definitely be monsters from the land of death attacking. The stronger one's own strength, the greater the certainty, but Lin Su's breakthrough is really what a bad time. As we all know, whether you are a monk or a monster, you may encounter heavenly tribulations when you break through your own bottleneck and reach a higher level. Among them, there are 3 heavenly tribulations that will definitely occur before you ascend to the immortal world, that is, the 49 when you break through to the elixir formation stage. Heavenly tribulations include the 69 heavenly tribulations when one breaks through to the stage of divine transformation and the 99 tribulations before ascending in the later stages of the tribulation. In addition, there are some people who are talented and defy the heavens. When they break through the nascent soul stage, the integration stage, and the Mahayana stage, they may also suffer from the jealousy of heaven and suffer heavenly tribulations because they are too defiant. Although this kind of heavenly tribulation is not as good as fixed, the 3 heavenly tribulations are so diverse and can only be thunder tribulations, but their power cannot be underestimated. With Lin Su's qualifications and incredible combat power, Yewuji and Emperor Yama are almost certain that he will be baptized by the thunder tribulation after he breaks the elixir and becomes a baby. This would not matter in normal times, but now it is the Tianzi ladder. Here, if there is a thunderstorm, people like myself will have no place to hide. Will this fish in the pond be a disaster? But Lin Su was already making a breakthrough, so he couldn't be forced to hold it back again, right? Breakthrough is something that happens but cannot be sought. If you hold it back now, you will probably never be able to break through again. This is like a person who is in urgent need of urination and needs to be released, but you ask him to hold it back. It will definitely cause problems. Not only Yewuji and Emperor Yama have such worries, Lin Su himself is also aware of this, but he can't stop now. When the water is full, it will be full. Unlike other monks, Lin Su did not deliberately attack the nascent soul stage. All this happened completely naturally, otherwise he would not have broken through so suddenly while he was taking a nap. The golden elixir in the body trembled violently under the impact of the massive spiritual energy of heaven and earth and the power of laws. I am afraid that cracks will soon appear. When the golden elixir breaks into Yuanying, it will be the time when the thunder tribulation will fall. At that time, Yawajihi and Emperor Yama can survive with their super strength, but the dragon tiger beast and the great prophet Kulia may not have such a good life. Especially Kulia, with her fragile body, she will definitely be hacked in a few blows. Into crumbs. Big cat, use your fastest speed to rush down. Reaching out and patting the dragon tiger beast's neck, the big cat let out a soft roar and rushed down the stairs. When passing by the great prophet Kulia, Lin Su stretched out his hand and hugged her. He only gave her a tight squeeze. Small waist. The entrance below the Tianzi stairs must be as closed as the entrance above. It needs Kulia, a great prophet, to open it. Time was tight and Lin Su had no time to explain to her. He could only hug her and follow her while she screamed. The dragon and tiger beast rushed downward. Yawaji and Emperor Yama looked at each other, and also urged his true energy to follow closely. Originally, according to the previous slow speed, it would take at least more than half a month to walk along the Tianzi stairs from the Tianling continent in the clouds to the Deathland at the bottom, but it is different now. The dragon tiger beast is almost full of firepower. He opened it and ran with all his strength, only to see a purple-red streak flying downward along the spiral staircase. In just one day, he reached the bottom of the Tianzi. As Lin Su thought, the bottom of the Tianzi was closed, and there was also an altar, but this altar was inside the Tianzi. Prophet Kulia, open the exit quickly, quickly. The golden elixir in Lin Su's body has already appeared a trace of cracks. This is the result of him not deliberately absorbing the spiritual energy of heaven and earth and the power of laws. Otherwise, I am afraid that the elixir would have shattered into an infant and suffered a catastrophe. But even so, he doesn't have much time left. As long as the first crack appears, the speed of other cracks will increase exponentially. In a quarter of an hour at most, his golden elixir will be completely destroyed. Break into pieces, break the pill and become a baby. Oh, okay, I'll open it right now. The whole way down, and then spiraled down in circles, the great prophet Kulia was dizzy and sat on the ground, with stars in front of her eyes. It was not until Lin Su repeated it for the third time that she recovered a little, stood up with difficulty, and began to chant the spell and waved the staff. As before, the altar began to emit a strong blue light. After the strong light, a gap appeared on the wall beside it, and immediately a corrosive dark breath poured in from the gap. We have to go out and close the exit quickly, otherwise these dark magic will penetrate into the Tianling continent along the Tianzi stairs, the great prophet Kulia shouted loudly, and at the same time, a staff gave her a light blue shield. You can faintly see water waves flowing on the surface of the shield, and the dark magic can't invade it at all. Without Kulia speaking, Lin Su had already jumped down from the dragon tiger beast when the gap opened, and rushed out as a residual shadow. His golden elixir had been completely shattered, and bursts of green light shot out from it. The nascent soul was about to come out. Next to the pillar of heaven, a colorful pillar of light continued to burst out from the ground and rushed straight to the clouds. It was faintly visible that there was a layer of transparent barrier in the sky that kept flashing with 5 colored streams of light. This should be the barrier covering the land of death that the great prophet Kulia said. But Lin Su didn't have time to care about the barrier at this moment. The whole person turned into a residual shadow and ran as far as possible, because he had faintly felt a familiar pressure from heaven and earth, which was a sign of the formation of a heavenly calamity. Yawaji and Yan Luo Tianzi followed closely and rushed out of the pillar of heaven, stopping beside the colorful pillar of light. As soon as the great prophet Kulia finished speaking, she saw that everyone had run out, including the dragon and tiger beasts. She was the only one left. She couldn't help but be a little stunned. Then she ran out of the pillar of heaven with a bitter smile and cast a spell to close the entrance again. Xiao Tu, take these 4 spirit beads to repair the barrier. I have to prepare for the tribulation. After running for a while, Lin Su found that the earth spirit pig was still hanging on him, so he quickly threw it off, took out 4 spirit beads and threw them to it, and continued to rush out. According to past experience, the coverage of the tribulation cloud of the heavenly tribulation is at least several miles. If he doesn't go far, it will be troublesome if Yewuji and others are involved. Being thrown off by Lin Su, the earth spirit pig was somewhat reluctant. It was a divine beast cultivated by the earth power source, and it could be said that it was a family with the heavenly Deo. It was not afraid of the heavenly tribulation at all. However, it also knew that if Lin Su survived the tribulation here, it would definitely attract the attention of the surrounding monsters. If it did not repair the barrier now, it might not have a chance later. Prophet Kulia, this should be the barrier, right? Repair it now, Yewuji pointed at the colorful light column and urged. I want to, too. But Lord Earth Spirit and the other 4 spirit beads are all on Brother Lin, this. The great prophet Kulia smiled bitterly. No one had expected that Lin Su would break through at this time. There was no preparation at all. The earth spirit pig and the 4 spirit beads of gold, wood, water, and fire were all on Lin Su, but Lin Su had to run farther to survive the tribulation now. It was impossible to call him back now, right? If that really happened, the heavenly tribulation would probably drag all of them in. The 3 were in a hurry, but saw a stream of cocky light swish in front of them, revealing its figure. It was the reluctant earth spirit pig, and the other 4 spirit beads were floating around it. Brother asked me to repair the barrier. How to repair it, tell me. The face of the earth spirit pig was not good. If it had not signed an equal contract with Lin Su, it would be in vain to run. Now it ran away with 4 spirit beads. It was obvious that repairing the spirit world would consume a lot of its original power, and it was unknown how long it would take to replenish it. Lord Earth Spirit, please wait a moment. The great prophet Kulia was overjoyed, and hurriedly took out the materials that had been prepared long ago from his storage bracelet, and soon built a small altar, in the middle of which floated a slowly rotating crystal ball. Lord Earth Spirit, please inject the power of the 5 elements into this crystal ball, so that the barrier can be repaired. If the earth spirit pig was still the earth spirit pearl, and had not opened its mind to become a divine beast, then the great prophet Kulia would definitely directly activate the original power of the 5 spirit pearls and inject it directly into the crystal ball, but now it is different. If the earth spirit pig does not want to, she has no way to do it. As for forcing, don't joke. With this gentleman's powerful strength, even if Yewuji and King Yan Luo come together, they will probably be beaten to a pulp. Dantian has a little field. Author, The Magic Orb Zoo. Chapter 202. The earth spirit pig nodded reluctantly. It could ignore the request of the great prophet Kulia, but it could not ignore Lin Su's order. The look it gave Kulia was inevitably filled with hatred, which made Kulia feel confused and frightened. A string of inexplicable syllables came out of its mouth, and the earth spirit pig's body emitted a dazzling earthy yellow light. At the same time, the 4 spirit beads surrounding it also emitted light corresponding to their respective attributes, but the brightness was not as high as that of the earth spirit pig. At this point, I hope readers will remember our domain name Taiwan Novel Network rightward arrow. With the earth spirit pig as the center, 4 rays of light shot out from the 4 spirit beads and converged on the earth spirit pig. It saw its 2 ears flapping, and it opened its mouth and spit out a colorful light that shot into the crystal ball in the altar. The colorful light disappeared as soon as it entered the crystal ball, while the colorful light column next to it became brighter. The barrier that was originally looming suddenly lit up, and the entire sky became a canvas shining with colorful light. It started. The barrier has begun to repair, the great prophet Kulia screamed with joy, while Yewuji and Yan Luo Tianzi were confused. They could sense that the energy in the colorful light column was increasing, but they couldn't see where the barrier started to repair. Perhaps only the great prophet Kulia could sense the progress of the repair? The great prophet Kolia stared at the colorful light column with excitement. From her mouth, she learned that at the current repair speed, it would take about 2 hours to completely repair the barrier. During this time, it was necessary to ensure that Lord Earth Spirit and the 4 spirit beads were not disturbed. Although the great prophet Kolia was also equivalent to the cultivation of the nascent soul stage, her cultivation focused on the spiritual type and had no combat power at all. Naturally, the task of guarding could only be completed by Yewuji and Yan Luo Tianzi. Yewuji, Yan Luo Tianzi and the dragon tiger beast guarded one side each, leaving the direction where Lin Su ran empty. The coverage of the heavenly tribulation was at least several miles. Before Lin Su completed the tribulation, those dark monsters could not cross that area, and there was no need to defend at all. After Lin Su rushed out for several miles, the golden elixir in his body completely shattered, and a bright green light shone from it, revealing a silver-white little dragon more than 1 foot long. As soon as the dragon appeared, it flashed with green light and turned into a naked little man the size of a palm. This little man was exactly the same as Lin Su in appearance and figure, like a smaller version of Lin Su, and his skin was extremely delicate and smooth, and faintly emitted the same emerald green light as the green lotus in the spiritual field space. Is this the nascent soul? Lin Su looked at the little man in his Dantian, and his heart was filled with novelty. He sank his Yuan Shen into the little man's body, and the Yuanying, who had originally closed his eyes, opened his eyes. This was not the first time that Lin Su checked Dantian, but it was the first time that he checked it from the perspective of Yuanying. Not far from Dantian was a slowly rotating green sphere, faintly emitting a layer of light green light. This was the spiritual field space. Although it felt interesting, Lin Su did not dare to stay any longer. He just took a few quick glances and then withdrew his Yuan Shen from Yuanying, regaining control of his body. Above his head, a dark calamity cloud was rapidly forming and spreading around. Soon, the calamity cloud was completely formed and stopped spreading. As Lin Su expected, the radius around him was 3 miles. Fortunately, he had run far enough away, so there was no need to worry about affecting Yewuji and his men. The power of the heavenly tribulation was not great, and it was a single thunder tribulation, which posed no threat to Lin Su. However, this power was relatively small. Lin Su had already cultivated the Xianxia 5 elements thunder art, and had a great resistance to thunder magic. Moreover, his strength had long surpassed that of ordinary Yuanying early stage cultivators. Now that he had broken through the pill and became an infant, his strength had increased tenfold, so he was naturally not afraid of such a general thunder tribulation. However, Lin Su did not dare to rush into the tribulation cloud as he did in the god and demon space. After all, the laws of the heavenly Dao in the heavenly spirit realm were not weaker than those in the human realm, and were completely different from the half-baked level of the god and demon secret realm. If he really rushed into the tribulation cloud and angered the heavenly Dao to condense a giant dragon of thunder and lightning, he would probably be in big trouble. Therefore, Lin Su could only stand there patiently and wait for the duration of the heavenly tribulation to end. As a result, the tribulation thunder struck for a whole hour. The appearance of the barrier attracted the attention of many dark monsters in the land of death, and they all rushed over here, but were blocked by Lin Su's heavenly tribulation. For these monsters whose power source is killing and dark power, the most feared thing is the upright and majestic power of tribulation thunder. The range of the tribulation cloud is 3 miles. Under the panic of the heavenly power, no matter how high the monsters are, they dare not approach the tribulation cloud within 2 miles, so Lin Su easily blocked almost half of the monsters. The rest of the monsters either came from another direction or had to go around a big circle to reach the colorful light column. Strange, there are very few monsters. Next to the colorful light column, the great prophet Kolia looked at the sparse monsters that were easily killed by Yewuji and Yan Luo Tianzi, and muttered in a strange way. Yewuji and Yan Luo Tianzi were both frowning. What did the snake girl mean? It would be good if there were fewer monsters coming. Is it normal for a large number of monsters to swarm in and push them and destroy the altar? An hour passed, the calamity ended, and the calamity clouds began to dissipate. Lin Su looked around and was immediately shocked. Within 5 miles, there were all strange monsters, a large black mass, with bursts of black air coming out of their bodies. I think it should be the dark magic energy mentioned by the great prophet Kulia. Isn't it just a calamity? Why would it attract so many dark monsters? Lin Su muttered, and while these dark monsters hadn't reacted and surrounded him, he turned around and ran towards the direction of the colorful light column. Father-in-law, Palace Master, how is the situation? When Lin Su came to the colorful light column, the first thing he saw was the altar next to the light column and the earth spirit pig and 4 spirit beads floating in the air, injecting the 5 elements of power into the crystal ball. Yewuji, Yanluo Tianzi and Longhu beasts stood in each direction to guard against the attack of the dark monsters. Compared with the dark monsters they saw just now, Yewuji and the other 2 were dealing with very few now, just 2 or 3 big cats and kittens. Sewer, did you succeed in overcoming the tribulation? Yewuji chopped down a dark monster with a sword, turned around and looked at Lin Su and asked with a smile. Yes, it succeeded, Lin Su nodded. In fact, this was all nonsense. If he failed to succeed in overcoming the tribulation, how could he stand here? As long as half an hour passes, the barrier can be repaired. The great prophet Kulia shouted in surprise. She originally estimated that it would take 2 hours to complete the repair. Now she found that with the replenishment of the 5 elements' original power, the barrier's own repair ability was also stimulated. According to the current situation, the barrier can be completely repaired in half an hour at most, and there will be no problems for at least thousands of years. A trace of joy flashed across the faces of Yewuji and Yanluo Tianzi. After all, although these monsters are not many in number, their strength is not weak, and there is a lot of dark magic energy mixed in the spiritual energy of heaven and earth here. They also have to use their skills to resist the invasion of dark magic energy, so they can only take a lot of elixirs to replenish their consumption. It is really great to be able to reduce the time by half an hour, but it is not so wonderful to Lin Su. Another half an hour, Lin Su frowned. There were not many dark monsters attacking now. It was probably because a large number of dark monsters were frightened by his own tribulation. When the influence of the tribulation disappeared, the groups of dark monsters would swarm in, which would be troublesome. As the saying goes, 2 fists cannot beat 4 hands. They can kill 1 wave of dark monsters, 2 waves of dark monsters, but what about the 3rd wave, the 4th wave, and even more? When manpower is limited, unless the gap in strength between the 2 sides reaches an insurmountable point, they will sooner or later be dragged down by the dark monsters that rush forward. When Lin Su told Yewuji and Yanluo Tianzi about the large number of dark monsters he saw at the end of his tribulation, Yewuji and Yanluo Tianzi were no longer happy. If there were so many dark monsters as Lin Su said, let alone half an hour, I'm afraid they would find it difficult to hold on even for a quarter of an hour. Soon, Lin Su's worry became a reality. A large number of dark monsters rushed over from the direction where Lin Su had passed the tribulation before. No, there are too many of them. We can't stop them if we are so scattered. The king of hell glanced at the number of dark monsters, and immediately made a judgment in his heart, shouting loudly, Prophet Kulia, you stand on the altar, we will form a circle and try to reduce the defense circle. The great prophet Kulia hurriedly retreated from the colorful light column and stood on the altar he built. Lin Su and the other 2, together with the dragon and tiger beast, surrounded the altar. Brother Ye, it's up to you, King of Hell shouted at Yewuji. Don't worry, leave it to me. Yewuji took out a black plate with many monsters carved on it, and typed a few spells upwards. Suddenly, the monsters on the plate came to life one by one, rushed out from the black plate, and formed a series of beast-shaped phantoms that covered the altar and Lin Su and the other 4. Lin Su counted them and found that there were a total of 7,749 beast-shaped phantoms. It seems that this is Yewuji's defensive magic weapon. It is the first time that Lin Su has seen Yewuji use it. I wonder how the defensive ability of this magic weapon compares with Su Kangxiang's Su Tianding? I think Su Tianding should be better. After all, it is a top-grade spiritual weapon. When Lin Su was muttering in his heart, several dark monsters had already rushed to the front and hit the outermost beast-shaped phantom fiercely. Suddenly, this layer of beast-shaped phantoms shook violently, but fortunately it did not break, and the 48 beast-shaped phantoms inside were not affected. Blocked by the beast-shaped phantoms, these dark monsters suddenly became furious and launched attacks on the beast shadows. Waves of collisions were heard, and the outermost beast shadow phantoms became fainter and fainter. It was obvious that they could not hold on for long. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Dantian has a little field. Author, The Magic Orb Zoo. Chapter 203. Take action. Don't let them keep attacking the formation. Yewuji shouted loudly and took the lead in launching an attack. The flying swords in his hands turned into two swords and rushed out through the beast-shaped shadows. They immediately strangled several dark monsters that were attacking the beast-shaped shadows to pieces. But soon other dark monsters rushed up. The half-moon-shaped blade in the hand of Emperor Yama also flew out of the air and strangled the group of dark monsters. Compared to killing enemies with a sword, Emperor Yama was better at personal assassinations, but in this situation, even he did not dare to jump out of the beast's shadow. Formation: there are too many dark monsters that can be seen outside. It is easy to get out but difficult to get in. Lin Su's eyes were bright when he saw it. He didn't expect Yewuji's formation to be so powerful. His attacks from the inside out were not hindered at all. It was easy to handle now. 49 5-elements spiritual bamboos flew out of Lin Su's body, forming the Dian 5-elements sword formation, and strangled towards the group of monsters. All the dark monsters in their path were strangled. The Dian 5-elements sword formation was powerful. The lethality was clearly revealed at this moment. Lin Su has always been fighting opponents with higher cultivation levels than himself. Basically, when he has the upper hand, he is borrowing the power of the Tyrant Bear King, so the Dian 5-elements sword formation has been covered up, but now Lin Su has broken through to the early stage of nascent soul. When dealing with these dark monsters of the same level or even lower levels, the terrifying lethality of the Dian 5-elements sword formation is revealed. As long as the Dian 5-elements sword formation passes through, there is no enemy at all. No matter what level of dark monsters they are, they will be strangled to death. It can be said that they will be injured if they touch them, and they will die if they knock them. It can be seen that Yewuji and Emperor Yama both felt their scalps numb, secretly calling Lin Su a pervert. Over the past few days, under the care of Lin Su, the 5-element spirit swords that make up the Dian 5-elements sword formation have been greatly improved, especially when Lin Su broke the pill and became a human being and entered the early stage of the nascent soul. The 39 5-elements spiritual swords that have reached the peak of high-grade treasures have all been upgraded to low-grade spiritual weapons. How powerful will the Dian 5-elements sword formation composed of 49 low-grade spiritual weapons be? I'm afraid even Lin Su, the creator, doesn't know this. He only knows that these dark monsters in front of him are not the enemies of the Dian 5-elements sword formation at all, and they can't even resist a little bit. Speaking of which, the races in the spiritual world seem to have a common problem, that is, their cultivation is not directly proportional to their actual combat power. The aura seems to be very powerful, but the actual combat power is 1 to 2 levels weaker. The snake people are like this, and the current dark monsters are like this. Maybe it's really because of the different cultivation systems. Of course, perverts like Tuliang Pig are not included in this list. In Lin Su's view, the reason why the dark monsters are scary is entirely because of their terrifying number. Not to mention anything else, as far as they can see, they are already filled with all kinds of dark monsters with weird shapes. Big Yan 5 elements sword formation. As soon as an open space was cleared, it was immediately filled with swarms of dark monsters. Fortunately, Yewuji had such a powerful defensive formation. Otherwise, if they were besieged by so many dark monsters, even if Lin Su and the others were twice as strong, they would still be defeated. With the terrifying number of dark monsters, they will definitely be unable to kill them all. What Lin Su and the others have to do is to delay as much time as possible, so whether it is the Dantian 5 elements sword formation or the attacks of Yewuji and Emperor Yama, they basically give priority to them. To the dark monsters that are attacking the beast-shaped phantom formation, try to reduce the frequency of their attacks on the formation. If the method is correct, it basically means success. Half an hour later, with the cheers of the great prophet Kulia, the earth spirit pig stopped injecting the power of the 5 elements into the crystal ball and flew down with a pale face. When he reached Lin Su's shoulders, he looked sluggish. The other 4 spirit beads also dimmed, and it was obvious that his vitality was severely damaged. The barrier that enveloped the entire land of death was now showing a magnificent light. The originally transparent barrier turned translucent. From time to time, streams of 5-color light passed over its surface, while the 5-color light pillar retracted. A dark hole was revealed on the ground. Prophet Kulia, once the barrier is repaired, will the space channel to the spiritual world be stable? Yewuji and Emperor Yama were most concerned about the spiritual world channel and hurriedly asked. It must have been stable. Once the barrier is repaired, there is no need to extract the original power of the entire heavenly spirit world. Naturally, it will have no impact on the space channel leading to the spirit world. Great Prophet Kulia nodded and said, "But we should go back and rest now." The 3 of them have repaired the barrier and are the benefactors of the entire Tianling continent. We, the Snake People, will represent all the races in the Tianling continent to pay tribute to the 3 of them. My benefactor expresses his gratitude. Although the barrier has been repaired, the dark monsters around have no intention of retreating. At this time, even if you know the location of the transmission channel, you can't go there immediately. You should go back to the Snake Tribe territory to repair it first, and wait for the dark monsters to disperse. Besides, anyway, there are still 8 months until the heavenly spirit realm leaves the human world. There is plenty of time, so there is no need to rush. Get ready, as soon as I release the formation, I will rush towards the Tianzu. Yewuji said solemnly, although their current position is less than 100 feet away from the Tianzu, the distance of 100 feet is completely filled by dark monsters. Without the protection of the formation, the darkness within 100 feet must be cleared. It is not easy for the monsters to successfully reach the Tianzu, not to mention the endless supply of these dark monsters. Get ready, let's charge, Yewuji shouted, dispelled the formation, waved the spirit sword in his hand, and rushed to the direction of the pillar of heaven with the sword as one. Yan Luo Tianzi followed closely behind. Lin Su collected the 4 spirit beads, glanced at the great prophet Kulia, stretched out his hand to hold her slender waist, and jumped onto the dragon tiger beast. Roar, the dragon tiger beast roared, spread its 4 hooves and chased after it. Lin Su did not seek to kill many dark monsters, but only protected his body with the Dantian 5 elements sword formation, and rushed to the pillar of heaven with Yewuji and Yan Luo Tianzi. Kulia prophet, open the entrance quickly, Lin Su roared at the still dazed Kulia, controlled the Dantian 5 elements sword formation to block behind him, and strangled and knocked away the monsters that kept attacking. Oh, okay, great prophet Kulia finally reacted, and quickly chanted a spell and waved his staff to open the entrance. After everyone entered, they sealed the entrance again. Prophet Kulia, will those dark monsters break through the pillar of heaven and rush in? After a sigh of relief, Lin Su asked with some worry. Absolutely not. Great Prophet Kulia answered decisively, the pillar of heaven cannot be damaged. Even if the power of these monsters is concentrated together, it is impossible to cause any damage to the pillar of heaven. Lin Su curled his lips. There is nothing in this world that cannot be damaged. The reason why it cannot be damaged is just because of insufficient strength. However, Great Prophet Kulia did not exaggerate. At least in this Tianling realm, there is no power that can damage the pillar of heaven. Otherwise, wouldn't the Tianling continent have been occupied by dark monsters long ago? Those dark monsters outside would not disperse for a while, and Yewuji and Yan Luo Tianzi were not in a hurry to find the passage to the spirit world now. After all, there were still 8 months. After they went to the spirit world, they had to explain the matter of Chaos Star Sea. Therefore, everyone decided to return to the territory of the snake people to rest. Before, they walked down along the Tianzi stairs, but now they were climbing up. This was a veritable way to heaven. With the physical strength of the great prophet Kulia, if she climbed by herself, she would not be able to climb up in more than half a month. Lin Su didn't have the patience to accompany Kulia to climb slowly, so he asked her to sit on the back of the dragon tiger beast, sat behind him, patted the dragon tiger beast's neck and shouted charge, and the big cat spread its forehooves and circled along the stairs like a gust of wind and jumped up. 2 hours later, the dragon tiger beast stepped over the last step and rushed out of the altar exit, roaring majestically to the sky, while the great prophet Kulia looked pale and her legs were weak. No, she was a snake person and had no legs at all. It should be that her snake tail was weak. Yewuji and Yan Luo Tianzi also rushed out of the staircase. The nearby snake guards were also startled by the roar of the dragon tiger beast and rushed to the altar, staring at their great prophet Kulia with excited eyes. Being watched with such hope by the tribesmen, the great prophet Kulia could only force herself to stand up straight, took a deep breath and shouted loudly, "People of the snake people, the 3 warriors who came from afar have successfully repaired the barrier. We no longer have to worry about those damn demons invading our homes. Long live! Long live! Long live the great prophet! Long live the warriors!" The crowd was boiling, cheering incessantly, everyone's face was filled with ecstasy, and the heat of cheering was about to lift up the entire city. The 3 warriors are the benefactors of our snake people and the benefactors of all the people of the Tianling continent. Pass the order down, inform all races of this news, and hold a celebration ceremony in the Snake God Square 3 days later, and cheer for our benefactors again. I don't know what method the great prophet Kulia used. Although her voice was not loud, it rang clearly in everyone's ears. Suddenly, the cheers of the snake people became more enthusiastic, and the eyes looking at Lin Su and the other 2 became more fiery. Many women of the snake tribe flirted with Lin Su and the other 2, especially Lin Su, because among the 3, Yewuji and Yan Luo Tianzi were both middle-aged men, and he was the youngest. In addition, he was riding on the dragon tiger beast, which made him look more majestic and handsome. Although he looked a little weird without a tail in the eyes of the snake women, his nature of admiring the strong and his worship of the benefactor diluted this small defect, and the enthusiastic eyes made Lin Su feel overwhelmed. Dantian has a little field. Author, The Magic Orb Zoo. Chapter 204. Lin Su ran back to his residence almost as if he was running away. As soon as he entered the courtyard, he immediately set up several defensive barriers. He even set up 2 barriers outside his room, becoming a veritable turtle shell. Come to think of it, except for Yewuji and Emperor Yama, no one could enter this room. Lin Su is not a moral gentleman. It is actually a very happy thing to be favored by many beauties, but if these beauties all have a snake tail, then it would be a shame. Taiwan Novel Network Rightward Arrow. Although Lin Su's body is that of a dragon with a snake's tail, his aesthetics are no different from those of ordinary humans, and he would not be interested in a snake girl with a snake's tail. Not long after, there was a knock on the door, and Lin Su's scalp went numb. Could it be that those snake girls rushed in? After using his spiritual consciousness to investigate, Lin Su felt relieved. It was not the snake girl, but Yewuji and the Emperor Yama. However, the image of these two bosses at the moment was a bit embarrassing. There were a few slap marks on Yewuji's white robe, and Emperor Yama's hair was also messy. These two bosses didn't even have time to tidy up their appearance. It can be seen that the snake girls of the snake tribe forced them to. How cruel. Thinking of this, Lin Su's heart suddenly became balanced. He opened the door with a smile on his face, and said teasingly to the two big men, "Father-in-law, Hall Master, why are you back so soon? Don't accept the snake people the worship of the tribe. Worship your ass." Yewuji rolled his eyes angrily and said, "This woman from the snake tribe has never seen a man before." One by one, she rushed up to grab and kiss him. "Fortunately, I still have some tricks, otherwise my wisdom in this life will be ruined. Emperor Yama didn't speak, but his expression was very ugly, and he looked like he was still frightened. Lin Su secretly laughed so hard that his stomach ached, and his face was twitching. It was very hard to bear it, but he didn't dare to laugh out loud, lest the two big guys would go crazy. Okay, just laugh if you want. Otherwise you'll get internal injuries," Yewuji said angrily, looking at Lin Su's twitching mouth corners and weird expression. He didn't know what the kid was thinking. Ha ha. Ha ha ha. "I'm sorry, father-in-law, I just can't bear it anymore." When Yewuji said this, Lin Su couldn't bear it anymore and laughed so hard that he bent over. Ji and Yan Luotian's faces twitched, but it was Yewuji who made Lin Su laugh. He couldn't get angry, so he could only roll his eyes in depression, turned around and walked out of the room. Emperor Yama opened his mouth to say something, but nothing came out. He smiled bitterly and turned back to his room, leaving Lin Su alone in the room laughing out of breath. After a long time, Lin Su finally stopped laughing, and secretly felt lucky that he had run fast enough, otherwise he might have been taken advantage of by those perverts from the snake tribe. "Brother, please send me into the spirit field space. I suffered a big loss today, and I don't know when I will be able to make up for the original power I consumed." The earth spirit pig that had been lying on the dragon and tiger beast finally recovered at this time. With a little strength, he opened his eyes and said feebly. Repairing the barrier indeed took a lot of Tu Lingzhu's original power. This is the first time Tu Lingzhu has spoken since the repair was completed. "Thank you for your hard work, Xiao Tu." Lin Su stroked the Tuliang pig's head with some distress. Although he received this little brother with coaxing and frightening and signed an equality contract, the pitiful appearance of the Tuliang pig with his vitality greatly damaged still made him unable to help but feeling distressed. "You go first to rest in the spirit field space, and I'll have people prepare food for you to replenish your strength." The loss of the original power cannot be replenished by eating alone, but Lin Su knows that Tulingzhu is a foodie, so this can be regarded as a disguised form. Compensated. With a thought, the earth spirit pig suddenly disappeared and entered the spirit field space. This is the convenience of signing an equal contract. Just a thought can make the earth spirit pig enter and leave the spirit field space. There is no need to waste the power of the soul. "Brother, I want a double portion," the voice of the earth spirit pig rang in Lin Su's heart. This was another effect of the equal contract. The two of them could now communicate directly through consciousness, even across the spiritual field space. What a foodie! Shaking his head in amusement, Lin Su opened the door and walked out. Because he had set up a formation barrier in the courtyard, the snake people could not enter, so he could only walk to the door of the courtyard and release his spiritual consciousness to explore outside. Fortunately, after such a period of calm, the onlookers of the snake tribe had dispersed, leaving only two attendants standing outside. "Help me prepare 5 banquet tables and bring them to the courtyard," Lin Su opened the door and told the attendants, then cancelled the formation barrier in the courtyard. "Yes, "Sir. I'll go right away," the attendant agreed with a respectful look on his face, waving his snake tail and leaving quickly. Under the propaganda of the great prophet Kuria, Lin Su and the others resisted the attack of the dark monster army for more than half an hour, killing countless people. Now, in the eyes of the snake people, Lin Su and the others are not just benefactors. He is still a well-deserved hero and strong man. The worship of heroes and strong men is common among all races. Not to mention that Lin Su only wants 5 banquets. Even if he adds 5 snake human beauties, this attendant will not half hesitant. Of course, Lin Su would not be interested in the beauties of the snake tribe. Soon, 5 tables of banquets were sent to the courtyard. After the attendants left, Lin Su waved his hand and put the banquets into the spiritual field space. He flashed into the house and activated the formation to control his soul to enter the spiritual field space. Because there are 2 foodies in the spiritual field space, Jade Rakshasa Shenbyun, Tyrant Bear King, and Earth Spirit Pig, Lin Su now puts things into the Kinkinbagwa furnace. Except for him, no one, including Tyrant Bear King, can use the Kinkinbagwa furnace, and naturally cannot check the items in it. Tyrant Bear King was still sleeping in his den as usual. Yepinger and the other girls were meditating and practicing. Earth Spirit Pig was sitting beside the Kinkinbagwa furnace. 4 spirit beads were floating around him. The power of the origin law gathered from all directions and entered the body of Earth Spirit Pig. After being converted by it and the 4 spirit beads, it was fed back to the spiritual field space in the form of the 5 elements of origin. Of course, a small part of it remained in the body of Earth Spirit Pig and the 4 spirit beads to replenish the original power they consumed. At this rate, the 5 elements of origin consumed by the Earth Spirit Pig and the 4 spirit beads should be replenished in half a year, and the initial power of the origin law of the spiritual field space can also be converted into the power of the 5 elements of origin. This is a win-win result. Lin Su opened the lid of the Kinkinbagwa furnace and took out 3 tables of banquets. Suddenly, he heard 2 swish sounds, and 2 figures, one big and one small, appeared in front of Lin Su. They stared at the 3 tables of banquets with their eyes fixed on them, and they were almost drooling. They were Tyrant Bear King and Earth Spirit Pig. These 2 guys really deserve the name of foodies, with their noses and speed. Lin Su shook his head with some amusement, pushed a table of banquets in front of Tyrant Bear King, and said, "Senior Bear King, this is yours." "Brother, where is mine?" Earth Spirit Pig looked at Lin Su with hope. "Here, these 2 tables are yours. But you can't eat them all by yourself, we have to eat together." At this time, Yepinger and the other girls had been alarmed and surrounded him. Lin Su smiled and touched the head of Earth Spirit Pig and said, "Let's eat together." "Let's eat together." The Earth Spirit Pig smiled so hard that his eyes narrowed into slits. Lin Su and the girls didn't eat much, so they just tasted a little. The Earth Spirit Pig knew that most of the food from the 2 tables would go into its stomach, so of course it wouldn't be dissatisfied. After eating and drinking, he told Yepinger and the girls about the process of repairing the barrier. When Yepinger learned that the barrier had been successfully repaired, her face suddenly looked a little lonely. Lin Su understood at a glance that this girl couldn't bear to leave her father Yewuji. The barrier of the Land of Death was successfully repaired, which meant that the space channel leading to the spirit world had stabilized. Yewuji and King Yanluo would definitely go to the spirit world through the space channel in the near future. It was unknown when they would meet again. Yepinger wanted to say goodbye to her father, but she couldn't go out because she couldn't explain why she appeared in the heavenly spirit world and appeared beside Lin Su. Lin Su didn't know how to comfort Yepinger. He wanted to say, "It's okay, go out and meet your father-in-law," but reason told him that if he did so, it would likely bring unexpected bad consequences, which would not be good for him, Yepinger, or Yewuji. Lin Su could only hug Yepinger in his arms and pat her on the back to comfort her. For the next 3 days, Lin Su stayed in the linked yen space to accompany Yepinger and Leng Lingyu. he had been running around these days and had no time to accompany the two women. Although the spiritual energy in the LinkedIn space was abundant and it was a good place for cultivation, he would still feel bored if he stayed here for a long time, especially since the residents were the tyrant bear king who only knew how to sleep except for eating, and the cold and taciturn Jade Rakshasa, which was really boring. 3 days later, the celebration was held as scheduled in the Serpent God Square. Thousands of representatives from all races of the Tianling continent attended the celebration. There were minotaurs with bull heads and human bodies, short dwarfs, elves with pointed ears and handsome faces, and other races that Lin Su had never heard of before. Of course, there were humans, but these humans were basically blonde and blue-eyed, which was a little different from humans in the human world. Lin Su was not used to such scenes, especially when beauties of various races flirted with him. The beauties of humans and elves looked pleasing to the eye, but those of minotaurs, dwarfs and other races were not so flattering. Especially when the first beauty of the Minotaur tribe, a strong cow more than twice as tall as Lin Su, hugged Lin Su to express his gratitude, Lin Su almost couldn't help kicking the other party away. The celebration was only halfway through, and Lin Su and the other two found excuses to slip out of the square and hid in their residence. Dantian has a little field. Author, The Magic Orb Zoo. Chapter 205. What? Pass the position of Palace Master to me? No, no. After the celebration, the great prophet Kulia told Lin Su and the other two the location of the spiritual world passage. Yewuji and Yan Luo Tianzi decided to leave for the spiritual world in 3 months, but before that, there were some things that needed to be explained to Lin Su, especially about the successor of the Palace Master of Xianxia Palace and the Island Master of Spirit Beast Island. Yan Luo Tianzi wanted Lin Su to take over the position of Palace Master of Yan Luo Palace. It seemed that Yewuji also wanted him to take charge of Spirit Beast Island, but Lin Su didn't want to. Father-in-law, Palace Master, you know very well that I am going to the world of cultivation and will not stay in Chaos Star Sea for long. I cannot take over either the Palace Master of Yan Luo Palace or the Island Master of Spirit Beast Island. You should choose someone else. Lin Su's attitude was very firm. Yan Luo Tianzi and Yewuji smiled bitterly at each other. They naturally knew Lin Su's plan. They said so only with a try-it attitude. Since Lin Su was so determined, they couldn't force it. They each left a video jade slip for Lin Su to take back to Yan Luo Palace and Spirit Beast Island to convey. The new Hall Master of Yan Luo Palace was succeeded by the bald man Tian Yuan, and the Island Master of Spirit Beast Island was succeeded by the Deputy Island Master. This was expected. Master, I remember you said before that the route map of the desolate space has been figured out. What is the specific situation? Lin Su is most concerned about how to return to the world of cultivation. When Yan Luo Tianzi went to the spirit world, no one would help him to find out the news, so he naturally had to ask first. I did get the route map, but Lin boy, are you sure you want to take this road? Even if you have broken through to the nascent soul stage now, you can never survive in the desolate space. Yan Luo Tianzi took out a jade slip with the root of the desolate space and frowned. Don't worry, Master. I will never do anything I'm not sure of, and I won't joke with my life. Lin Su said so, and King Yan Luo could only give the jade slip to Lin Su. By the way, Su'er, you have to be careful of the people in Xianxia Palace. Although there are only Su Kangxiang and Su Qinqin left now, you must not underestimate them. When I and Brother Yan go to the spirit world, they will have no scruples and may be unfavorable to you. Don't worry, father-in-law, I will be careful. Lin Su nodded and agreed. Although he has now broken through to the early stage of yuaning and his strength has been greatly improved, he is not afraid of anyone even if he does not borrow the power of Tyrant Bear King, but it is easy to avoid a spear in the open but difficult to guard against an arrow in the dark. He has suffered a big loss once, so he must learn to be smarter and not fall into the same pit every time. 3 months later. Although the great prophet Kulia tried to keep him, Yewuji and King Yanluo decided to go to the spirit world as soon as possible to avoid more trouble. Because Lin Su also wanted to see the specific location of the spiritual world passage so that he could be familiar with it when he went to the spiritual world in the future, the great prophet Kolya left a sound transmission magic circle at the bottom of the pillar. When Lin Su came back, as long as the magic circle was triggered, Kolya would receive the message to open the entrance for him. Originally, the great prophet Kolya wanted to go with Lin Su, King Yanluo, and others, but the three of them shook their heads. Are you kidding? With such a weak body of this great prophet, her life would be in danger if she was touched by the dark monsters a few times. If she took her with her, wouldn't she become her bodyguard? Besides, even if she could safely reach the spiritual world passage, what would she do when she came back? At that time, Lin Su would be alone. It would be too difficult to keep her in the land of death where dark monsters were everywhere. The great prophet Kolya also knew that she would be a burden if she followed him, so she no longer insisted, but gave each of Lin Su and the other two a talisman, which was said to be less likely to be discovered by dark monsters. According to the map given by the great prophet Kolya, Lin Su and the other two rushed to the southeast of the land of death. Because of the no-fly restrictions, the three could only run on the ground. Lin Su was naturally lazy and rode on the back of the dragon tiger beast. Anyway, the big cat was willing, and Lin Su was happy to relax. The land of death is extremely vast. The location of the spiritual world passage is not far from the pillar of heaven, but it is definitely not close. With the speed of Lin Su, the three people and the beast, it will take half a month to reach it day and night. I don't know if it's the good luck of the three people or the amulet given by the great prophet Kolya. They have been rushing for 8 days and have not encountered a dark monster to stop them. Don't say it, that snake prophet is really capable, and those dark monsters are just like blind, Yewuji praised. Because the combat power of the races in the heavenly spirit realm is lower than the cultivation level, Yewuji and King Yanluo actually don't think much of them, but the great prophet Kolya is an exception. Although the opponent's body is extremely weak, she has many strange abilities. For example, she is the only one who can open the entrance to the upper and lower altars of the Tianzi stairs, as well as the method of repairing the barrier and the current amulet, etc., all of which show the extraordinariness of this great prophet of the snake people. However, no matter how extraordinary she is, it is estimated that she can only stay in the Tianling realm for the rest of her life. With her weak body, it is impossible for her to withstand the spatial pulling force in the spiritual world channel. The amulet of the great prophet Kolya is not always effective. Lin Su can feel that a trace of dark demonic energy is constantly invading it. At the beginning, the amulet will emit a silver-white light, and slowly this light will become dimmer and dimmer. After 10 days, it completely disappeared, and spider web-like cracks appeared on the amulet. It seems that it is not far from being damaged. When Lin Su, 3 people and 1 beast rushed past the dark monsters began to rush up to attack them from time to time. Of course, these dark monsters were wiped out by Lin Su and the others, but it also explained one point. That is, the reason why Lin Su and the others were not attacked by the dark monster before was not because of good luck, but because of the effect of the great prophet Kolya's talisman. On the 14th day, the amulet completely shattered and turned into dust and disappeared. Lin Su and the others slowed down. It's too slow. If you continue to run with all your strength like before, I am afraid that all the dark monsters within a few miles will be attracted. By then, I am afraid that the scene when you were repairing the barrier will be staged again. It's just that there was a Tianzi to hide in at that time, but now it can be no place to hide. Lin Su and Emperor Yama both used the Yaluo hidden technique. Yewuji and the dragon tiger beast also had the ability to hide their bodies, but they were much inferior compared to Lin Su. Every time there are more than 100 dark monsters chasing, Lin Su and the others have to stop and kill the chasing dark monsters, otherwise the number will only increase. The dark monsters in this land of death have a very troublesome characteristic, that is, as long as they identify the enemy, they will never stop fighting, and they have no idea of fear at all. After walking around like this for a total of 5 days longer than expected, the 3 of them and 1 beast finally arrived at their destination, the place where the great prophet Kulia said the passage to the spiritual world was. Then the snake female prophet is not lying to us, is she? Is there any space passage nearby? Lin Su and the others searched back and forth at the location marked on the map, clearing away all the dark monsters in the area. It was all clean, but not even the shadow of the spiritual world passage was seen. Yewuji had a bad temper and couldn't help but hold back his anger. It shouldn't be the case. Prophet Kulia wanted to come with us before. If she was lying to us, she would never want to come with us. Lin Su shook his head. Judging from his interactions with the great prophet Kulia these days, the other party would never lie about this kind of thing. Since the map she gave showed that the spiritual world passage is in this area, it must be here, they just didn't notice it for a while. The channel to the spiritual world should not always appear. Otherwise, wouldn't even these dark monsters be able to enter the spiritual world? The always cool Emperor Yama also spoke. When he said this, Yewuji also calmed down. A super boss who can become the leader of a faction is naturally not a fool. Before, he only cared about others and caused chaos. After calming down, Yewuji also felt that the great prophet Kulia was not lying. But where is the spiritual channel hidden? If it requires a special method to open it, what is the trick? Wait, could it be? Lin Su suddenly remembered that at the last moment of their separation, the great prophet Kulia gave him a small box and asked him to open it at the destination. He was so nervous along the way, and in the rush just now, he actually forgot about it. At that moment, Lin Su stopped searching and took out the small box given by the great prophet Kulia. This was a palm-sized light golden box. It was impossible to tell what material it was made of. There were some strange patterns carved on the box. Lin Su felt that it seemed to contain some wonderful principles of heaven and earth, but he couldn't figure out what it was. What's the meaning? Gently open the lid of the box, and inside is a crystal-like translucent body, the same size as the inside of the box, tightly embedded in it, and it doesn't seem to have anything special at all. Hey, this is... Suddenly, a red dot gradually lit up in the translucent crystal, just to the left of the center. Lin Su tried to take a few steps to the left and found that the red dot in the translucent crystal actually moved towards the center. So a little. This is an indicator. This red dot must be the location of the spiritual world passage. Lin Su was overjoyed and walked towards the left front. As he moved, the red dot in the translucent crystal kept moving towards the center. Finally, after Lin Su walked half a mile away, the red dot moved to the center of the translucent crystal. This is the location of the spiritual world passage. But how to make the channel appear? Just as this thought came to Lin Su's mind, the box in his hand suddenly emitted a pale golden light. The light became more and more intense, and finally turned into pure gold, dyeing the sky golden. Sewer, have you discovered the passage to the spirit world? Lin Su's strange sight naturally alarmed Yewuji and Yamamoto Tianzi, who were not far away. When the two rushed over, they happened to see the strange lines on the box in Lin Su's hand emerging in the air. They squirmed and gathered in the air 1 foot in front of Lin Su and 2 feet above the ground. Thank you to the reader Ajin for voting for a monthly ticket. Thank you to the reader Red God for voting for a monthly ticket. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Dantian has a little field. Author, The Magic Orb Zoo. Chapter 206. As the golden runes converged, a crackling sound rang out in the air, and a dark space channel appeared from small to large at the convergence of the runes, and finally stopped at a radius of 10 feet. Powerful space forces diffused from it. Spiritual World Channel. Yewuji and Yan Luo Tianzi exclaimed in surprise, their voices full of surprise. It seems that the snake prophet really did not lie, the spiritual world channel is really here. Yewuji was in a good mood, and the previous unhappiness had long been thrown out of the sky. Yan Luo Tianzi looked at the space channel with a fiery look. This spiritual world channel seems to need the power of this box to open. I'm afraid it won't last long. Father-in-law, Hall Master, you guys go in quickly. The light of the box in Lin Su's hand has begun to dim, and the golden runes emerging from the box are also decreasing. Once the runes disappear, the spiritual world channel may be closed again. Su-er, help me take good care of Ping-er. If you dare to bully her, I will teach you a lesson when you arrive in the spirit world in the future. This was the only sentence Yewuji said when he stepped into the spirit world passage. What he couldn't let go of the most was Ye Ping-er. Lin boy, I'll wait for you in the spirit world. We'll have a good fight then. Yan Luo Tianzi looked at Lin Su deeply, left a word, and disappeared in the passage in an instant. All along, Yan Luo Tianzi rarely took action. No one knew how powerful he was when he burst out with all his strength. Even Xianxia and others couldn't force out his magical skills when they summoned the stone giant at the Five Elements Divine Mountain. In terms of personal strength, Yan Luo Tianzi, who reached the late Yuanying Great Perfection realm, was definitely the strongest among the three giants of Chaos Star Sea. According to Lin Su's estimation, even Yewuji and Xianxia might not be Yan Luo Tianzi's opponents when they joined forces. Similarly, in the eyes of Yan Luo Tianzi, the only one who was truly qualified to be his opponent was Lin Su. In the past, Lin Su's cultivation was low, but now Lin Su has broken through to the early stage of the nascent soul, and his strength has increased dramatically. When he saw the power of the Dian Five Elements sword formation when repairing the barrier to resist the dark monsters, Yan Luo Tianzi really put Lin Su on an equal footing with himself. His words of challenging him were not entirely whim. A challenge? It sounds interesting. Lin Su was a little surprised, but then a layer of warlike heat surged in his eyes. Among the three giants of Chaos Star Sea, only Yan Luo Tianzi made him feel pressured. Fighting against such an opponent should be very interesting, right? See you in the spirit world. The box in Lin Su's hand no longer had golden runes, and the light dimmed. Without the support of the rune power, the spirit world passage quickly shrank and closed, disappearing without a trace. There are still 4 months left, let's go around the Tianling continent. But before that, I have to leave this land of death first. The land of death is full of dark magic. Although Lin Su is not as afraid of it as poison as others, he can absorb and transform it, but it is much less than absorbing the spiritual energy of heaven and earth. In addition, there are threats from countless dark monsters, so it is better to leave early. Although Lin Su and the other two cleaned up all the dark monsters within a radius of 3 miles when looking for the spiritual world passage, the golden light that burst out when the spiritual world passage was opened before still alarmed the dark monsters in the distance. It is already possible to see groups of dark monsters appearing in the distant sky. Based on what Lin Su sees now, there are probably tens of thousands of dark monsters. If they surround him, he may not be able to fly away. Looking at the dragon tiger beast leaning against him intimately, Lin Su was in trouble. He could use Yan Luo absolute hidden technique to run away, but what about this big cat? This guy only knows a simple spell to hide his body, and it is impossible to avoid the perception of the dark monsters. Time waits for no one, and a decision must be made quickly. Now it seems that there is only one way, to take the dragon tiger beast as a pet and let it enter the spiritual field space. Listen, big cat, have you seen those dark monsters? It will be difficult for us to escape if we run like this. I have a way now, but I need you to sign a master-servant contract with me. Are you willing? Lin Su is not like the earth spirit pig with the dragon tiger beast. He will not sign any equal contract. Either sign a master-servant contract or give up the dragon tiger beast. Although the dragon tiger beast has always been very close to Lin Su, and even willing to be Lin Su's mount, Lin Su is still not sure whether the other party is willing to sign a master-servant contract with him to be his pet. After all, even Yewuji, the island owner of the Spirit Beast Island, only let the dragon tiger beast bow his head after agreeing to the conditions. Master-servant contract? The dragon tiger beast was stunned for a moment. It didn't expect Lin Su to make such a request. After a slight hesitation, the dragon tiger beast nodded and agreed. If someone else had proposed this condition, the dragon tiger beast would definitely refuse without thinking. Even Yewuji agreed to let the dragon tiger beast go free after entering the Tianling realm to find the spiritual world passage, which made the dragon tiger beast agree to become a pet. But Lin Su is different. Although the dragon tiger beast has a simple mind, it doesn't mean it is stupid. This gentleman is a much more advanced authentic beast than it. Although his cultivation is a little lower, his strength is definitely stronger than it. Moreover, now that the spiritual world passage has been found, sooner or later Lin Su will go to the spiritual world, and his future is limitless. The dragon tiger beast knows very well that signing a master-servant contract with Lin Su and becoming Lin Su's pet is completely more beneficial than disadvantageous for it. Maybe under the effect of the power of the contract, its own blood of the divine beast will wake up faster. Big Cat, have you thought about it? Once the contract is signed, your life and death will be in my hands. Lin Su didn't expect the dragon tiger beast to agree so quickly, and asked uncertainly. The last bit of the dragon tiger beast's grudge was also dispelled by Lin Su's words. Lin Su's question meant that he absolutely had no intention of enslaving himself, so what else could he think about? Seeing the dragon tiger beast nod firmly, Lin Su stopped talking and directly used the magic formula to outline a master-servant contract seal and printed it on the dragon tiger beast's forehead. As soon as the seal came into contact with the dragon tiger beast's scalp, it turned into a stream of light and drilled into it, firmly imprinted on the dragon tiger beast's soul. In an instant, Lin Su had a very strange feeling. The dragon tiger beast was fully displayed in front of him from the inside to the outside, from the soul to the flesh, just like a naked beauty who was completely defenseless against him. Lin Su truly felt that as long as he had a thought, he could really kill the dragon tiger beast immediately. Although this feeling was expected, it still surprised Lin Su a little. After all, this was his first time signing a master-servant contract. Knowing it was one thing, and actually putting it into action was another. Compared to Lin Su's surprise, the dragon tiger beast did not feel uncomfortable. It was not the first time it signed a master-servant contract, and it had long been accustomed to it. Big Cat, I will put you into my space now, and Xiaotu will explain it to you. Time was tight, and Lin Su had no time to explain more to the dragon tiger beast. He put it into the spiritual field space with a thought, and he used the Yan Luo absolute hidden technique to hide his body and chose a direction where the dark monsters were relatively sparse and flew away. The dark monster that was originally surrounding him quickly suddenly lost the trace of Lin Su and was stunned. After searching, he found nothing and could not help but be furious. This anger could only be vented on each other, so a fight broke out again. Monsters are monsters, they are murderous. Lin Su did not expect that the dark monsters would fight because they could not find him, but it was normal to think about it. The dark monsters in the land of death are constantly generated every day. If they did not kill each other to control their numbers, they would have filled up the entire land of death long ago. With a chuckle, Lin Su, who had already slipped out of the encirclement, took out the map to determine the direction of the pillar, and flew away like smoke. However, the dragon tiger beast was taken into the spiritual field space by Lin Su, and suddenly appeared in a strange place. He was stunned, and then instinctively became alert. Hey, you stupid cat was actually taken in by the big brother. A figure appeared in front of the dragon tiger beast. It was the earth spirit pig. The Earth Spirit Pig saw the current situation of the Dragon Tiger Beast with just one glance. Master-servant contract? You were taken in as a pet by the big brother. Yes, Ahu is now the master's pet. A crisp child's voice came from the Dragon Tiger Beast, which stunned the Dragon Tiger Beast and the Earth Spirit Pig. Big stupid cat, can you speak? The Earth Spirit Pig had already explored the physical condition of the Dragon Tiger Beast. Because this guy became a pet too early, the transverse bone in his throat could not be refined, and he could not speak human words at all, but now his transverse bone is gone. Yes, I can speak. Ahu can speak. After a pause, the Dragon Tiger Beast was also ecstatic. Ordinary monsters really disdain to speak human words, but it is different. It has been dealing with human cultivators since childhood. It is really inconvenient that it cannot speak. After all, it is often inconvenient to rely entirely on spiritual consciousness to transmit thoughts. I really didn't expect that just signing a master-servant contract with Linsu would make its crossbone disappear and gain the ability to speak. It's worth it to recognize this master. You, a big stupid cat, are worthy of being called Ahu. It's more like Amao, the Earth Spirit Pig just snorted, and the Dragon Tiger Beast was scared and lay on the ground. Compared with Linsu, it was more afraid of this harmless-looking piglet. The other party was also a divine beast, and it was a unique divine beast born and raised by nature. Its bloodline was much more advanced than its own. More importantly, compared with Linsu, the Earth Spirit Pig's temper was really bad. The Dragon Tiger Beast was worried that if it displeased the Earth Spirit Pig, it would be beaten up by the other party. It saw clearly the scene where the Earth Spirit Pig smashed the virtual world into pieces. Okay, stop being so scared, I won't eat you. The word eat from the Earth Spirit Pig made the Dragon Tiger Beast shudder again. Seeing the other party's frightened look, the Earth Spirit Pig also felt a little bored. Since you are the big brother's pet, you are also my little brother. From now on, you have to call me boss, remember. Dantian has a little field. Author, The Magic Orb Zoo. Chapter 207. The Tuliang Pig thought very simply. Although it had become Linsu's younger brother, as long as it also accepted a younger brother, it would not be considered at the bottom. Taiwan Novel Network Rightward Arrow. The Dragon and Tiger Beast suppressed the trembling of its legs and nodded. It didn't dare not agree. Don't look at Tuling's smiling face now. If he dares to say no, he will definitely be beaten to a pulp. If he still cares about it, even if Linsu knows about it, will he still do it for himself? Should such a pet beast punish the Earth Spirit Pig, the younger brother of the mythical beast? Ahu, why did you come in? Where is my husband? The Dragon Tiger Beast was once Yewuji's pet beast, so Yeping'er was naturally familiar with it, so she couldn't help but asked in surprise when she saw it come in. Miss? And miss you, why are you here? The Dragon Tiger Beast was confused. Where is this place? Not only is the evil god Tulingzu here, but also Yeping'er and Leng Lingyu? No, not only that, there is also a woman who exudes a cold aura. Although the other party does not release the aura, Dragon Tiger Beast intuitively knows that the other party is definitely much stronger than itself, and I am afraid that it has already exceeded the level of the god transformation stage. Ahu, can you speak? Yeping'er was stunned. She knew very well that the original Dragon and Tiger Beast had absolutely no ability to speak, but this was good, and it was more convenient to ask questions. Don't worry about why I am here, answer my question first. How did you come in? Did your husband bring you in? How is he? Also, how is my father? A series of questions were thrown from Yeping'er's mouth, which stunned the Dragon and Tiger Beast. Leng Lingyu saw the embarrassment of the Dragon and Tiger Beast, and hurriedly pulled Yeping'er to persuade, Sister Ping'er, don't be excited. Ahu has just been able to speak, let's ask questions one by one. Then he turned to the Dragon Tiger Beast and asked, Ahu, please explain the situation slowly, don't be in a hurry. The dragon tiger beast breathed a sigh of relief, straightened out his thoughts, and told the story about Yewuji and Emperor Yama going to the spirit world through the spirit world passage, and Lin Su signed a master-servant contract with him in order to avoid the attracted group of dark monsters. Come out. The contract has just been signed, and as soon as I see it, it's here. Dragon Tiger Beast paused, blinked curiously and asked, what exactly is this place? After thinking for a while, he glanced at the Tuleing pig, and the Dragon Tiger Beast added in a low voice, Master said that the boss will explain it to me. Boss, I want to regain my strength, so I don't have time. The Earth Spirit Pig rolled its eyes. It didn't have the patience to explain to the Dragon and Tiger Beast. It threw down a high-sounding reason and moved towards the 4 spirit beads floating in the air. He jumped and continued to restore his original power. The Earth Spirit Pig slipped away, and the Dragon and Tiger Beast could only turn their curious eyes to Yeping and Leng Lingyu. However, Yeping heard the news that Yewuji had gone to the spirit world, and now she fell into a state of trance. Mouthing, he kept muttering the word daddy in a low voice, not having the mood to explain to the dragon, tiger, and beast. Leng Lingyu gave a helpless smile and briefly told the dragon and tiger beast about the origin of the spirit field space. Hearing this, the dragon and tiger beast was stunned for a while, and his heart blossomed with joy. Oops! I am so wise to have found such a powerful master. I thought he was just a divine beast with powerful bloodline, but I didn't expect that there is such a shocking secret, the Qinglian that dominates life, the initial space that even saints can only dream of. This is many times more powerful than the divine beasts. Ah! After clearing up the confusion about the dragon and tiger beast, Leng Lingyu looked at Yeping whose eyes were dim and her face was gloomy. She couldn't help but sigh, gently held Yeping's hand and comforted, Ping sister, don't be like this. Godfather is just going to the spirit world first. Now that the passage to the spirit world has been found, we will go to the spirit world sooner or later, and we can meet again then. Sister I know what you are saying, but when I think about being separated from my father for more than 500 years, I can't help but feel sad. Yeping shook her head, her mood still not much better. Leng Lingyu I could only sigh and say no more. After slipping out of the encirclement, seeing that there was no trace of the dark monster around, Lin Su revealed his figure. With a thought, he summoned the dragon and tiger beast from the spirit field space. Over the past few days, Lin Su, I'm used to riding dragon and tiger beasts, and I don't want to go on my own anymore. The dragon tiger beast was walking towards the tyrant bear king's bear den. He was about to see the tyrant bear king sleeping in the bear's den, but was suddenly moved out by Lin Su. He couldn't help but feel a little dazed. Big cat, what's wrong with you? Lin Su waved his hand in front of the dragon and tiger beast and asked. No, it's nothing. Master, I have a name, my name is Ahu. After the dragon tiger beast calmed down, it rubbed its big head on Lin Su's waist flatteringly. Ahu? Oh, okay, then I will teach you Ahu from now on. Lin Su nodded, and was about to turn over and mount the dragon tiger beast, but suddenly stopped, his eyes widened, and he exclaimed, you can talk now. Lin Su's reaction was even greater than that of Yeping because Yewuji once told him with certainty that the dragon and tiger beast would never be able to speak human words in this life, but what is going on now? Yes, Master, Ahu can speak now, all thanks to Master. The dragon tiger beast had a smile full of flattery and gratitude on its face. Thanks to me? Where do you start talking about this? Lin Su was confused. I don't know either. It's just that after I signed the master-servant contract with the master, my transverse bone was naturally refined, and then I could speak, said the dragon tiger beast. In fact, it also felt strange and thought it was a gift from Lin Su, but now it seems that this powerful master doesn't know the reason. Is that so? That's really strange. Lin Su nodded and smiled, but no matter what the reason is, it's a good thing. Congratulations, Ahu. Thank you, Master. The dragon tiger beast's eyes narrowed into a slit with joy. Don't call me Master, it sounds weird. How about this, you just call me Boss. The reason for signing the master-servant contract with the dragon tiger beast was that the situation was urgent at the time. Otherwise, there was no way to put the dragon tiger beast into the spiritual field space. The other reason was that Lin Su had been spoiled by the dragon tiger beast these days and became lazy. He thought it was not bad to have such amount for travel. He really didn't think of using the dragon tiger beast as a slave, so the dragon tiger beast's title of master sounded very awkward and harsh to Lin Su. But, Xiao Tu said that he wanted me to be his younger brother and asked me to call him boss. This. Although the dragon tiger beast has reached the middle stage of the nascent soul, it is still a minor child in terms of age. It is simple-minded and was in trouble when it heard Lin Su's words. Xiao Tu asked you to be his younger brother. Lin Su was stunned and shook his head with a smile. This Tu Ling pig was really childish. He accepted it as his younger brother, and it asked the dragon tiger beast to be its younger brother. Then you can call me big brother like Xiao Tu, so there will be no confusion, Lin Su said with a smile, turned over and rode on the dragon tiger beast, and ran towards the Tianzu. After all, this is the land of death and the territory of the dark monsters. It is not safe to stay too long. It is better to talk while walking. Ahu, do you know the origin of the spiritual field space? Yes, Miss Yu told me. That's good, remember not to mention this to others, this is my biggest secret. Don't worry, Ahu will not say anything. That's good. Ahu, speed up a little bit. While talking, Lin Su urged the dragon tiger beast to speed up and run towards the Tianzu. This time, Lin Su did not deliberately avoid the dark beasts he encountered, but rushed past them with the speed of the dragon tiger beast. However, this attracted a lot of dark beasts. Soon, the dark beasts chasing behind the dragon tiger beast formed a long black dragon, which was more than 10 miles long. If it stopped, it would probably be caught up by a large number of dark beasts soon. Lin Su didn't care about the dark beasts chasing behind him. He had already estimated that although he couldn't get rid of them, he was not afraid of being caught up with the speed of the dragon tiger beast. Now that Yewuji and Yan Luo Tianzi were not around, it would be much easier for him to get rid of these pursuers. He ran all the way without stopping. In just 10 days, the dragon tiger beast ran the distance of more than 20 days before. 10 miles away from the Tianzu, Lin Su jumped off the dragon tiger beast's back and put it into the spiritual field space. Then he used Yan Luo's absolute invisibility technique to hide his figure and continued to rush towards the Tianzu. At this time, a large group of dark beasts followed Lin Su, and there was no end in sight. There were probably hundreds of thousands or even millions of them. If it weren't for the invisibility magic of Yan Luo's absolute invisibility technique, Lin Su would not dare to run so arrogantly. The magic created by King Yan Luo lived up to its reputation. Millions of dark monsters lost their targets and started to kill each other. For a moment, the demonic energy filled the field, the roar shook the sky, and they fell into chaos. Carefully bypassing the scattered dark monsters, Lin Su came to the side of the pillar, activated the sound transmission array left by the great prophet Kulia, and then sat down cross-legged and waited. According to Lin Su's estimation, it would take at least several days for the great prophet Kulia to receive the sound transmission and then come down from the steps of the pillar to open the entrance. But who would have thought that Lin Su had just sat down for less than an incense stick of time, and a blue light appeared on the pillar, and then the entrance appeared. Why so fast? Without time to think about it, Lin Su flashed into the entrance, but saw that it was not the great prophet Kulia who opened the entrance, but a guard of the snake people. The snack Eamon guard held a light blue box in his hand, which was similar in shape to the box that Kulia gave Lin Su to open the spiritual world passage, except for the color and the runes on it. After the snack Eman guard closed the entrance to the pillar with the box in his hand, he bowed to Lin Su and said, "Master Lin, the prophet ordered me to wait for you here. Thanks to the viewer Ajin for the reward of Xianxia, 200 starting coins. Today is the Dragon Boat Festival. I wish you all a happy holiday and happiness and sweetness. Dantian has a little field." Author, The Magic Orb Zoo. Chapter 208. Lin Su suddenly realized that the great prophet Kulia had been sending people to wait for him here. Perhaps she was afraid that he would be besieged by dark monsters when he returned. What an accident would happen if the entrance was opened too late. She was quite careful. The box in the hands of the snack Eman guard had lost its luster and turned white after closing the passage, and the lines on it disappeared. It seemed that it was a disposable item just like the box that the great prophet Kulia gave to Lin Su. Diamond suit, diamond suit, diamond suit. This box is very similar to a disposable talisman. Lin Su took out his own box and looked at it. The originally light golden box had turned white, and the lines on it had disappeared, just like the one in the hands of the snack Eman guard. The snack Eman guard did not throw away the box that had turned back to white, but carefully put it away. It seemed that the box should still be useful. Lin Su guessed that the material should be the same as the talisman paper used to make talismans. The difference was that the talisman paper was useless after being used once, while this box seemed to be able to engrave runes on it repeatedly. We have to find the prophet Kulia and ask her to re-engraving the runes. Lin Su secretly made up his mind to ask the great prophet Kulia to re-engraving the runes to open the spiritual world. The next time he came to the spiritual world, he might have to wait until 500 years later. Who knows if the great prophet Kulia will still be there by then. In the surprised eyes of the snake guards, Lin Su summoned the dragon tiger beast again, turned over and rode on it, and rushed up along the pillar stairs. As for the snake guards, although their speed was not as fast as the dragon tiger beast, the difference was not too much. Compared with the great prophet Kulia, the male members of the snake tribe were much stronger in terms of physical strength. "Brother Lin, is this trip going well? Did Xianxia and Senior Yan go to the spiritual world?" The great prophet Kulia was waiting by the altar. When she saw Lin Su rushing out of the pillar stairs on the dragon tiger beast, she asked with a smile. "Well, it went smoothly. My father-in-law and the hall master have already gone to the spirit world." Lin Su looked around and said, "Prophet Kulia, I have something to talk to you alone." "Is that so? Then Brother Lin, please go to my room and wait for a while. I will come after I close the passage." The guards of the snake people were not as fast as the dragon tiger beast. They had not come up yet. The great prophet Kulia had to wait for him to come up before closing the passage. Lin Su nodded and patted the dragon tiger beast's neck gently. The dragon tiger beast understood and roared softly and walked towards the wooden house beside the altar. Half an incense stick of time after Lin Su entered the cabin, the great prophet Kulia walked in, sat down opposite Lin Su, and said with a smile, "Sorry to have kept you waiting, Brother Lin. I wonder what you want to talk to me about." "It's nothing serious, Prophet Kulia. You know that I come from the human world, and the heavenly spirit world will be separated from the human world in a few months. At that time, I will also be excluded. I don't know how long it will take for me to come in again." Lin Su sighed and took out the small box that had turned white, saying, "So I want please ask Prophet Kulia to re-engraving the rune that opens the passage to the spirit world. I thought it was something else, just this. Come, give me the box." The great prophet Kulia smiled, reached out to take the small box, picked up the staff placed aside and danced, while chanting a wonderful spell, and saw pale golden runes appearing out of thin air in front of him, and then pounced on the small box like a swimming fish. In just half a cup of tea, the small box returned to the pale golden color that Lin Su saw at the beginning. Putting the pale golden small box in front of Lin Su, the great prophet Kulia took out another small white box, which was returned to her by the snack Eamon guard who went to greet Lin Su. Lin Su guessed correctly that this box is called a seal box, which can engrave the spells of the great prophet Kulia on it for a long time. However, this kind of seal box is extremely rare, even the great prophet Kulia has less than 10 in his hands. Continuing to wave the staff, this time the great prophet Kulia recited another spell, and the seal box engraved with light blue runes turned light blue, exactly the same as before the snack Eamon guards used it. Pushing the two light gold and light blue seal boxes in front of Lin Su, the great prophet Kulia smiled and said, "The light gold seal box is to open the spiritual world channel, and this light blue seal box can open the altar entrance twice. Give them to you, Brother Lin. Brother Lin, you will probably not enter the heavenly spirit world again after hundreds of years. I'm afraid we will never see each other again." There was a hint of melancholy in the voice of the great prophet Kulia. The cultivation system she practiced was completely different from Lin Su's, and it was also different from the main cultivation system of the heavenly spirit world. While gaining powerful predictive ability and powerful spiritual power to communicate with the origin, she sacrificed the strength of the flesh, and her lifespan was only doubled compared to the snakemen who did not practice. Each great prophet of the snake people only has a lifespan of more than 300 years at most, and the power is inherited from generation to generation. It will be at least 500 years before Lin Su enters the heavenly spirit realm again. By that time, she will have passed away, and there may be two great prophets. Kulia could not predict what attitude the great prophet would have towards Lin Su at that time. It is for this reason that Kulia gave Lin Su the seal box for opening the heavenly pillar stairs altar and the spiritual world passage, so that even if there is any disagreement between the successor great prophet and Lin Su can open the heavenly pillar stairs and the spiritual world passage on his own, so as not to fight with the snake people. Thank you, Prophet Kulia. If the snake people need help in the future, I will do my best to help. Lin Su was overjoyed, put away the two seal boxes, and gave the great prophet Kulia a fist. Then I would like to thank Brother Lin on behalf of the snake people. Speaking of which, I really envy Brother Lin. Not only are you immortal cultivators highly powerful, but your lifespan is far longer than that of ordinary people, unlike us. Great Prophet Kulia's lonely look disappeared in a flash, and she put on a faint smile again, and asked softly, "Brother Lin, what are you going to do next?" "There are still 4 months until the heavenly spirit realm leaves the human world. I plan to walk around in the heavenly spirit realm to gain more knowledge." "Then how can I help you?" "Just prepare more food for me. As you know, Prophet Kuria, that guy Xiao is a foodie. This is simple, I'll arrange for someone to do it right away." 3 days later, the snake tribe prepared a lot of food for Lin Su, which was enough for Lin Su to eat for a year. Of course, with the appetite of the tyrant bear king and the earthly pig, if these foods were allowed to be eaten, they would probably eat them twice in a row. It won't last more than a month. However, the tyrant bear king and the earth spirit tribe are just greedy. Food is not necessary for their lives. The snake tribe's ability to prepare so much was beyond Lin Su's expectation. After expressing his gratitude to the great prophet Kulia, Lin Su rode the dragon and tiger beast into the sky and flew into the distance. "Brother, where are we going next?" The dragon tiger beast didn't fly very fast, because Lin Su didn't say where he was going, so the dragon tiger beast just flew aimlessly. "Where to go? That's a question." Lin Su scratched his head. He was not familiar with Tianling continent. He didn't know where to go for a while. He took out the map given by the great prophet Kulia and looked at it. He pointed towards the south and said, "Go south, let's go to Yanj forest." According to the map, to the south is the place where the elves live, Yongsong forest. "Okay, big brother," dragon tiger beast agreed, speeding up and flying towards the south. The elves are a race that respects nature. The god they believe in is the goddess of life, and Lin Su has the soul Qinglian, the master of life, in his body, so he is very curious about the elves. Of course, the goddess of life will not be the master of life, but there may be some connection between the two, and it is said that there is the world tree and the fountain of life in Yanj forest, and Lin Su also wants to see them. Along the way, Lin Su stopped and stopped, not deliberately rushing. Moreover, he released Ye Ping'er and Len Lingyu from the spirit field space. Ye Wuji and Emperor Yama had already gone to the spirit world. Ye Ping'er and her two daughters didn't have any worries. Since Lin Su entered the Tianling realm, this was the first time that Ye Ping'er and Len Lingyu came out of the spirit field space. It was naturally very strange. The dragon and tiger beasts were also requisitioned by Ye Ping'er and Len Lingyu. Without the two women's cars, Lin Su could only fly by himself. The original 10-day journey took a full month with a few people touring the mountains and rivers, and then they arrived at Yanga forest. The trees in Yanj forest are different from other places. They grow extremely tall. Looking from a distance from the air, at the end of the field of vision is a giant tree that reaches straight into the clouds. It must be the legendary world tree. Lin Su and the others were about to fly over from the air, when suddenly several sharp arrows shot towards them from the forest below. Snort. With a cold snort, Lin Su stretched out his palm to catch the sharp arrows that were shot. Suddenly, these sharp arrows lost their strength as if they were caught by an invisible big hand. Lin Su moved his palm, and these sharp arrows turned around. He shot back faster. Oops! Ah! Several screams sounded, followed by a scream from the forest below, "Who dares to break into our Yanj forest and hurt my people?" Several figures rose into the sky. They were the elves of Yanga forest. The first person was holding a spear, floating a few feet in front of Lin Susui. She was an extremely beautiful elf beauty. The remaining people were male and female, each riding a strange big bird, holding an exquisite bow and arrow. This big bird looks like a mixture of an eagle and a stag. It is the hippogriff, the unique mount of the elves. My name is Lin Su. This is my wife Ye Ping'er and Len Lingyu. I have heard about the name of the elves for a long time, so I came here to visit. I don't mean any harm. Lin Su cupped his hands towards the elf beauty holding a spear. Humph. No harm. Then why did you hurt my people? The beauty from the elf clan snorted coldly and pointed downwards. She saw several injured elves lying on the edge of the forest below. Most of their hands and feet were injured by arrows, and they were moaning softly. Thank you to the reader. Please call me Digital King for your 1 monthly vote. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Dantian has a little field. Author, The Magic Orb Zoo. Chapter 209. This beautiful elf, it seems that your people attacked me first just now, right? I was just fighting back. And I have already shown mercy, otherwise do you think they would still have a chance to make a sound now? Lin Su didn't. He smiled contentedly. The elves are a proud race and have never looked down upon other races. To deal with such a race, one must be even more arrogant than him and cannot be tolerated. Writing this, I hope readers will remember our domain name Taiwan Novel Network. Rightward arrow. Snort. The beautiful spear elf snorted, but was speechless. It was indeed them who attacked with arrows just now. Lin Su was right to counterattack, but when had the elves been bullied like this? The beauty with the spear elf was dissatisfied. She rolled her eyes and came up with an idea. She pointed the spear in her hand at Lin Su and shouted, "It's obviously you who broke into Yanj forest without permission. Don't you know that flying is not allowed over Yanj forest? I see that you are so sinister, you must be here to steal the fountain of life. Thieving eyebrows and rat eyes? Are you telling lies with your eyes open? Do I look like a sinister person?" Lin Su was angry. This little bitch was clearly looking for trouble, so the elf was superior? If you piss me off, I can't whip you to death. Ahu, come on. In order to avoid being accused of bullying women, Lin Su winked at the dragon and tiger beast. The dragon and tiger beast understood and roared towards the beautiful spear elf. As for Ye Ping'er and Leng Lingyu, they had already flown to Lin Su. Hiding behind them, although they were all in the late stage of pill formation, they would not be able to take action in a fight with Lin Su, let alone against a group of handsome men and beauties. Ho! The dragon and tiger beast roared excitedly and rushed towards the beautiful elves holding spears. It didn't care whether the elves were beautiful or ugly. Lin Su told it to get on it. This was a good opportunity to show off. Bold. Seek death. The elf beauty's eyebrows stood up, and a golden light flashed from the spear in her hand, and she stabbed towards the dragon tiger beast, but was grabbed by the dragon tiger beast's claws and cut into several pieces. Shoot it. The elf beauty was frightened and hurriedly backed away, shouting in a panic. The elf archers riding hippogriffs opened their bows and arrows towards the dragon and tiger beasts, but the power of these arrows was really too small. Even the dragon tiger beast's true energy shield couldn't be shot through. A clanking sound rang out, but it didn't even hurt the dragon tiger beast's fur. Seeing that the dragon tiger beast opened its big mouth and was about to swallow the elf beauty in one gulp, the elf beauty turned pale with fright and screamed loudly and closed her eyes. However, when Lin Su said wait a minute, the dragon tiger beast's body suddenly stopped. Stop, the big bloody mouth is almost close to the face of the elf beauty, and the hot and wet smell from the mouth makes the elf beauty tremble all over. Ahu, come back. Lin Su did not want to make enemies with the elves, but just wanted to teach them a lesson. Following his order, the dragon and tiger beast roared softly, flew back with a swing of its body, and asked with some confusion, "Brother, why don't you let me swallow her?" The elf beauty had just opened her eyes and was congratulating herself for escaping with her life. When she heard the words of the dragon and tiger beast, she suddenly trembled again. No need. Lin Su shook his head, looked at the pale elf beauty, and said, "You have also seen that I have no intention of hurting your life. We didn't know about the rule about not flying in the sky above Yonj forest before. It's better to just let it go." How? The elf beauty was very unhappy, but she also saw that people like herself were no match for Lin Su. They couldn't even defeat the monster next to him, so she could only look at Lin Su angrily and stop talking. Lin Su didn't take it seriously and pulled Ye Ping'er and Leng Lingyu down to the ground. "Husband, they are all injured, how about we help them?" Ye Ping'er looked at the elven archer who was lying on the ground wailing, and said somewhat unbearably. Although Lin Su shot back the few arrows just now, with his current strength, even if he shot them casually, these low-level elves whose auras are not even in the dance stage can resist them, even though Lin Su deliberately avoided the key points. But the sharp arrows piercing their arms and thighs still caused these elves to sweat on their foreheads in pain. Do you also think I should help them?" Lin Su glanced at Ye Ping'er, then turned to Leng Lingyu and asked. "They are just trying to protect their homeland. It's okay to teach them a lesson." "Husband, you should help them." Leng Lingyu looked at the injured elf and then at Ye Ping'er, who was looking at her expectantly. He spoke. "Since Ping'er and you have said so, then I will help them. The purpose of shock has been achieved, and Lin Su doesn't want to go too far. Carrot and stick are the best way for a proud race like the elves, and going too far is not enough. Moreover, Lin Su also wants to see the world tree and life. Zhequan, you can't hit it all the way in, right?" Lin Su stretched out his hand and squeezed the air. The arrows inserted into the elven archers were all shattered. Then several green lights shot out from Lin Su's fingertips and hit the wounds of the elven archers. Suddenly, these wounds were visible to the naked eye. Healed at a visibly fast rate, and returned to his original state within a few moments, with no trace of the injury. What a powerful force of life! Are you the messenger sent by the goddess of life? The elf beauty also landed on the ground at this moment. She couldn't help but be surprised when she saw Lin Su healing the elf archer. The life force contained in those green lights was extremely pure, even purer than the high priest of their elf clan. Quite a bit. Is this human being an envoy sent by the goddess of life? What goddess of life? I don't know her. I came here at the invitation of your high priest Maya. The green lights just now were just an application of the immortal lotus heart technique. It was just a small arrow wound, and it naturally took no effort to heal. As for the invitation from Maya, the high priest of the elves, that Lin Su said, it was also the same. True. During the celebration in the Snake God Square, representatives from all races in the Tianling continent participated. The high priest Maya was a representative of the elves. Not only the elves, representatives of all races had expressed invitations to Lin Su, but Lin Su did not. He just didn't take it to heart, and he only said it now because he happened to think of it. Invitation from High Priest Maya. The elf beauty was stunned, raised her head suddenly and exclaimed, "Are you the master Lin Su Lin who repaired the enchantment of the land of death?" The fact that Lin Su, Yewuji and Emperor Yama repaired the barrier of the land of death and prevented the dark monsters from invading the Tianling continent has already spread throughout the Tianling world. Elf beauties have also heard about it. Lin Su also reported it just now. It's just that she didn't think about it. If the high priest Maya knew that he had taken action against Master Lin, he would definitely be punished. When she thought of this, the elf beauty hurriedly knelt down on one knee towards Lin Su and said urgently, "I don't know Phil, Lord Lin is coming here. I have offended you many times before. Please don't take offense. I will inform the high priest right now." Without waiting for the elf beauty Phil's instructions, an elf archer was already flying towards the interior of the forest riding a hippogriff. Don't blame those who don't know, get up. Lin Sulu was happy. His name was quite easy to use. If he had known it, he would have reported it earlier and saved so much trouble. Dang! 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 A crisp and melodious bell suddenly rang from inside Yanj forest. Elf Beauty Phil smiled and said, "Master Lin, this is the sound of the natural bell of our elves. It can only be heard when welcoming distinguished guests from afar. It will sound when the sound comes, and it must be the high priest personally coming to greet you." As soon as he finished speaking, a large number of elves rode hippogriffs and flew out from the depths of Yongsong forest. The first hippogriff was more than twice the size of the other hippogriffs. This was the king among the hippogriffs. The person sitting was none other than Maya, the high priest of the elf tribe. Lin Su had met her once in the snake tribe territory, so he could tell at a glance. Master Lin has come all the way. It is truly an honor for our elves as a clan. High Priest Maya jumped off the hippogriff beast king, walked quickly to Lin Su, put one hand on his chest and performed the etiquette of the elves, and his voice was full of joy. "Master High Priest, Lin came here rashly. There was a little misunderstanding with the warriors of the elves just now. Please don't mind. Just like the great prophet Kulia is the spiritual leader of the snake people, the high priest Maya also has the highest status among the elves." She came out to greet him in person and gave Lin Su enough face. Lin Su naturally had to respond. Master Lin was joking. It was the tribesmen who were ignorant and bumped into Master Lin. "It was me who was embarrassed," High Priest Maya said with a smile. The elf archer who went to report the news had already told the high priest Maya about the conflict between the elf beauty Phil and others and Lin Su. She naturally knew that her tribe was the first to take action, and Lin Su had shown mercy. Not only that, he also used the wonderful life magic to heal the injured elf, which was a great honor to the elves. The high priest is so polite. Mr. Lin has not reported this before. This is all a misunderstanding. Those who don't know are not guilty." Lin Su smiled and returned the salute, stretched out his hand to pull Yeping and Leng Lingyu over and introduced, "Master High Priest, this is my wife Yeping, Leng Lingyu. She came suddenly without notifying you in advance. Please don't be offended. The two ladies are so beautiful, Mr. Lin is so lucky. High Priest Maya glanced at Yeping and the two girls, and her eyes lit up. Even in the eyes of the elves, who are famous for their beauty, the appearance of the two girls is the best choice. Not only that, Yeping and the two girls did not hide their aura. High Priest Maya could tell at a glance that the cultivation of these two women was not inferior to that of the guardians of the elves, and they were not just good looking. It is our elves' great honor to have Lord Lin come to our Yonge forest as a guest. We, the elves, must entertain him well to repay Lord Lin for his great kindness to the celestial spirit world. Please come with me. In order to show respect, High Priest Maya stopped riding the Hippogriff King and led Lin Su and others on foot toward the interior of Yonge Forest. Dantian has a little field. Author, The Magic Orb Zoo. Chapter 210. The trees in Yonge Forest are very different from those in other places. In addition to being much taller, there is another greater feature: there are basically no branches. Except for the huge treetops, there are straight trunks. No wonder the elves can fly freely in the forest on horned eagles. The trees are extremely lush, but strangely, they do not block the sunlight. There is not much difference between the light in the Yonge forest and the light outside. High Priest Maya led Lin Su and his companions slowly into Yonge forest. Along the way, various small animals kept running out to watch curiously, without any fear, which made Lin Su and his companions marvel. This elf race is indeed a race that worships nature, and it is well deserved. High Priest, where are we going? They have been walking for an hour, and they have encountered some temples with elf characteristics on the road, but High Priest Maya has no intention of stopping at all, which makes Lin Su a little strange. This direction seems to lead to the World Tree. Could it be? Master Lin, don't be surprised. You are the most distinguished guest of the elves and are qualified to enter the real gathering place of our elves, the World Tree. It is indeed the World Tree. But what does High Priest Maya mean by this? The real gathering place? Could it be that the World Tree is not a tree, but a small world with a tree-shaped appearance? With a heart full of guesses, Lin Su followed High Priest Maya silently, while Yeping and Len Lingyu rode on the back of the dragon tiger beast, curiously looking at everything in the Yonge forest. Although there are forests in the Chaos Star Sea, they are far less vast than the Yonge forest, and there are many small animals in the Yonge forest that are not in the Chaos Star Sea, which Yeping and Len Lingyu are very interested in. The World Tree is deep in the Yonge forest. If you walk slowly at the current speed, it may take half a day to get there. But High Priest Maya didn't even ride the horned eagle beast king to show her respect for herself. Lin Su would be embarrassed not to appreciate it, right? There was no choice but to follow with a smile. Fortunately, the scenery in the Yonge forest was pretty good and not too boring. Half a day later, everyone finally arrived at their destination and came to the foot of the World Tree. The World Tree is worthy of its name. It is huge enough from a distance, and it is even more amazing when you get close. The diameter of the entire trunk alone is more than 2 miles. Lin Su and his friends standing under the trunk are like standing under an infinitely tall city wall. They feel as small as ants. Akamayi too. The High Priest Maya had an emerald green staff in his hand. He pointed at the trunk of the World Tree and uttered a string of inexplicable syllables. Then a green light shot out from the top of the emerald green staff and hit the World Tree. A light gate suddenly took shape. Please. The High Priest Maya stretched out her hand and led them into the light gate. Lin Su and his friends looked at each other and followed them in. Is this the inside of the World Tree? Sure enough, this is an independent little world. The light and shadow changed, and a magnificent city appeared in front of Lin Su and his companions, with red and green buildings, unique castles, wide streets, beautiful fountains, and elves walking or riding huge white tigers. It was a peaceful scene. If you didn't know, you would never have thought that the previous scene was inside the trunk of a big tree. The welcome banquet was held in an antique castle, with some special food of the elves. Lin Su summoned the earth spirit pig while no one was paying attention. This guy is a foodie. If the food at the banquet missed him, Lin Su would definitely be annoyed to death by his complaints. Hey, this wine. The earth spirit pig was completely attracted by the food, and buried his whole body on the dining table. Compared with fine wine, it prefers food. After Lin Su tasted a few foods casually, he took a sip of the wine. Suddenly, a strange force drilled into his body, making him brighten his eyes. Why, Lord Lin, do you think there is something wrong with this wine? A gleam of light flashed across the mouth of the high priest Maya, and a strange smile hung on the corner of her mouth. It's not that there is a problem, but there is a very strange feeling. Lin Su frowned slightly and said, I feel that there is a strong breath of life in this wine. High priest, what is the name of this wine? Lin Su has the life-giving green lotus that dominates life, and is extremely sensitive to the power of life. The life force contained in this glass of wine is very similar to the breath of the life-giving green lotus, as if from the same source. Lin Su felt it after just taking a small sip. Lord Lin is indeed extraordinary. He can actually sense the life force in this wine. The eyes of the high priest Maya flashed with brilliance, and she said meaningfully, this is a fine wine brewed with the water of the fountain of life. Lord Lin is so sensitive to the life force. Are you also a believer of the goddess of life? Although the fine wine cited by Lin Su was brewed with the water of the fountain of life, it had long been diluted and did not contain much life force. Even if ordinary people drank it, they would at most feel that their mouths were fragrant and refreshed, and they could not sense the life force contained in it at all. However, Lin Su felt it after just one sip, which surprised the high priest Maya. Rightward arrow. Goddess of life? No, I am not her believer. Lin Su shook his head and smiled, but I am very interested in the fountain of life. I wonder if I have the honor to see it? This. High priest Maya hesitated. The fountain of life is the most precious wealth of the elves and the source of power for the elves. Logically speaking, no one else can touch it except the elves. However, Lin Su is the entire celestial spirit. The benefactor of the mainland was also the benefactor of the elves. It was really hard for her to refuse. Master Lin, it's not that I don't want to agree, it's just that the fountain of life is too important to our elves, so I don't dare to take the risk. After thinking for a long time, High Priest Maya shook her head with a wry smile. Adventure? Where do we start with this? High Priest, I just want to experience the wonder of the fountain of life. I don't want to occupy it, let alone take it away. Why should I take the risk? Lin Su asked doubtfully. Master Lin, the thing is like this. The fountain of life is a gift from the goddess of life to our elves. It is the sacred spring of our elves. Only races like elves that respect nature and have pure life bodies can approach it. Others can't get close to it at all. You can't get close. The high priest Maya told the reason, but there was a sense of pride in his tone. If a person without a living body approaches forcibly, the fountain of life is likely to be damaged. If someone forcibly touches the fountain of life, and it will pollute the fountain of life, so I said I dare not take the risk. High priest Maya said it tactfully, but the implication was that Lin Su did not have a living body and could not get close to the fountain of life. Even if he approached forcefully, the fountain of life would only be destroyed. Lin Su naturally heard the meaning of her words, and couldn't help but sneer in his heart. When it comes to the power of life, I'm afraid these elves don't have as much as him. The Qinglian, the master of life, is in his spiritual field space. Not to mention possessing the immortal Lotus Heart Seal, Lin Su can use the immortal Lotus Heart technique to create the power of life at any time. Since the elves can approach the fountain of life, he must also be able to. Well, Lord High Priest, just let me try it. If I am rejected by the fountain of life, then I will give up the idea immediately, How about it? Lin Su suggested. Well. After the high priest Maya hesitated for a moment, he nodded, okay, this priest will make the decision and let Mr. Lin give it a try. But as I said before, if the fountain of life has a repulsive reaction to you, you must not forcefully approach it. Stop it now. Of course, Lin Su agreed. The matter was settled like this. 1 month later will happen to be the annual Divine Bathing Day. All elves over the age of 12 can enter the fountain of life to bathe, absorb the power of life, and accept the divine power of the goddess of life. As a gift, the high priest Maya promised to let Lin Su and others enter the fountain of life to bathe on this day. Of course, whether they can get close depends on the luck of Lin Su and others. Husband, isn't the fountain of life only accessible to elves? Are you sure? After the banquet, Lin Su and others were arranged to live in the VIP area of the castle. As soon as they entered the room, Ye Ping'er waved. He put up a soundproof barrier and said with some worry. The elves can enter the fountain of life because they are born with the power of life. But when it comes to the power of life, I am no worse than them. Lin Su smiled and blinked his eyes, and said, Ping'er, have you forgotten that I have the Qinglian, the master of life, in my body, and the power of life is definitely much greater than that of other elves? Yes. Ye Ping'er's eyes lit up and she said happily, Husband, you are the descendant of the Lord of Life. How could I forget this? The goddess of life that the elves believe in cannot be compared with the Lord of Life. Husband, you want to enter the spring of life so much. Is that spring water of any use to you? Len Lingyu looked at the problem much more deeply than Ye Ping'er. Lin Su didn't seem to be a curious person. There must be some conspiracy to insist on entering the fountain of life. I don't know what the specific use is, but I think it must be beneficial. Otherwise, why would those elves enter it to bathe? Lin Su smiled slyly and said, since we have come to the hometown of the elves, why don't we have to see this legendary spring of life? Ping'er, you can try it when the time comes. If you can get close, it's best, there's nothing to lose if you can't get close, right? Well, listen to your husband. Brother, can I try? The dragon and tiger beast's weak childish voice sounded. Lin Su lowered his head and saw that this guy was lying at his feet looking at him with longing eyes. Try. Try them all.